Special thanks to this week's video sponsor. More about them in a minute.
It has been 1 full year since we got chickens, and I want to take you guys along on everything that we have learned over the past year. So at the very beginning of last year, around March, April, I think the beginning of March, I got 4 chicks. I had went out to a Tractor Supply. I had planned to do all this. This was something we really wanted to do, and I got 4 chicks. I ultimately traded 2 of those chicks for 2 different chicks from a friend because I had gotten all silky breed chickens, which I'll show you which one is a silky, and I wanted to have a variety of chickens in my flock. So I traded those 2, you guys might remember, and then I ended up with, how many chickens did I have at that point? I think I had 4 chickens at that point, and along the way we added 2 more chickens over the summer. So one thing that goes into being a chicken tender, as I like to say, is that there are so many different breeds of chickens out there. Some breeds are good for certain climates wherever you live in the country. If you need chickens that need to be cold hardy, some breeds are really good at taking care of chicks if you wanted to raise chickens, and some breeds are really good at laying eggs. Some breeds of chicken, they lay different color eggs. They lay blue eggs or green eggs or even really dark brown, almost black chocolate eggs. And when I say the color of the eggs, I mean the shell, not the actual egg yolk or anything. So right now in our flock, I have a chicken that lays a very light sky blue colored egg, a chicken that lays a green egg or like a sage color egg, and then the rest of my chickens, they lay regular brown eggs. Right now we have 6 chickens in total. We did have 7. So I can't remember if it was late last year in the winter or early this year, like January. It was around December, January time. We had gotten 2 chickens from a friend who was downsizing her flock. This chicken's name was Dolly. I named her Dolly. We've kind of named all of our chickens like after Western or country singers. So we had Dolly because she was very big chested. Like she puffed out her chest feathers and she, you know, reminded me of Dolly Parton. One day on the camera, because it was very cold out, I was very worried about the chickens, how they would fare in the cold. We have some cameras up here in the chicken run and in the chicken coop, and every night before I go to bed, I count all the chickens inside the chicken coop to make sure everybody made it in all right. I counted only 6 chickens, which meant somebody was missing. So my husband and I came out here, it was around like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we were looking for Dolly. Now earlier that day on the camera, I had seen Dolly out and about in the coop, and when I had come out, sorry, there's a motorcycle. And when I had come out to collect eggs, I collected 4 eggs, but I should have been collecting 5. And I noticed in the nesting boxes there, it looked like somebody had broken an egg, which can happen from time to time. They all go in and use the same nesting box and somebody might step on an egg. So I didn't think anything of it. I had seen her on the camera in that nesting box, so I assumed she had laid an egg. Well, later that night, my husband and I came out and we found her down in the chicken coop in this far corner over here. I didn't really know what to do. She was panting heavily, she was lethargic, she was just not right. I was trying to call a friend of mine who was a much more seasoned chicken tender, I call her, and while I was on the phone with her trying to figure out what to do, unfortunately Dolly passed. Oh, do you have dandelions for me? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, blow it. So ultimately what I think happened was, Gabriel's right here blowing dandelions. Ultimately what I think happened, which I was very sad at the time, was that Dolly was egg bound and she was trying to lay an egg and that egg broke inside of her, which ultimately is fatal for a chicken. So the only thing I really feel good about with that whole experience was, 1, it was a learning opportunity, and 2, we were holding her and petting her and speaking kindly to her when she did pass. So we are now down to 6 chickens. So we have 5 hens and 1 rooster. Now I did not want a rooster, but Lou is a good boy. He still tries to fight me from time to time and like gets all puffy and wants to defend his flock, which is a good thing, but we keep him around as predator protection. We haven't had any foxes, raccoons, or anything try to break into our chicken run or hurt any of our chickens, so we are very fortunate on that regard, but having a rooster around helps to protect the rest of the hens because he will protect the girlies. Now, wintertime was where I got really nervous because I was worried about the cold, because it got down to the low 20s, teens a few times. So we did kind of winterize the coop a bit. You can kind of see it still. My husband hasn't taken it fully off, but we lined the bottom of the coop with plastic so that they would have some sort of wind barrier. We also put up some wood around the chicken run to prevent the wind from getting them when they come out here. We also, and I will link everything down in the description below, we had, my husband already put it away, but we had a warmer that the water jugs would sit on top of so that the water wouldn't freeze, and we also had a coop warmer. There currently is a lot going on in my yard right now. The dog is coughing, the child is raiding the chicken supplies, and the chickens think that they're getting a treat. Eggs! Those are the fake eggs, baby. Now the coop warmer is optional. All of my chicken breeds are cold hardy, so they can tolerate the cold, but I didn't want my eggs to freeze if they were laying eggs in the winter. They were very hit and miss this winter with laying eggs, and these girlies decided to molt all of their feathers, like right in the coldest part of the cold snap that we had gotten. So I did not want them to freeze. They were looking like a bunch of chickens that had all of their, they looked crazy. Let's say that. Crazy, right? You got eggs. Okay, be careful with those, please. So we did mount a coop warmer in there just to take the edge off of the cold for them and to prevent the eggs from actually freezing, expanding, and breaking. Now, looking back at our startup experience, starting to keep chickens is the hardest part of your journey. Pretty much right now, they are self-sufficient once they are full grown and can be outside. So when they're chicks, you have to worry about electrolytes in their water, you have to worry about keeping them warm, you have to worry about making sure that they're eating, all that fun stuff. But now that they're pretty much grown, they are full adults, they all are laying eggs with the exception of Lou. Lou is our boy. They're pretty much self-sufficient. We have these 5-gallon water jugs, which I will show you guys in a little bit, that my husband fills up. In the summer, we rotate the water a lot more often, but in the winter and in the cooler seasons, we don't have to. And they can water themselves. It's fully sealed. We add about 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, so that keeps the water from getting funky a little bit. And that's how they get their water there. We also have a little feeder over here in the corner, I'll show you guys, with oyster shells in it. Now the oyster shells helps them to get their calcium that they need so that they can produce healthy eggs. Now in the actual chicken coop is where we keep the feeder with the chicken feed in it, and we currently get our chicken feed from the local Amish. So Tractor Supply is very expensive when it comes to chicken feed. It's about like $25 to $30 for a 45-pound bag, or for a 40-pound bag, whereas from the Amish I can get a non-GMO feed that for like a 50-pound bag for $12. Now whenever I top off their feed and we go to the Amish and we fill up the feed container to feed them, I go to BJ's and I get bulk seasonings or bulk spices of dried oregano, dried red pepper flakes, and dried cinnamon. You can also add dried garlic as well. There's a bunch of herbs that you can add to help fortify their feed. Now, adding these herbs to their feed helps to keep them healthy, because we know that oregano has antibacterial properties. The red pepper flakes helps your egg yolks to get that nice, rich, dark orange color, and it helps to keep their digestive tract free of any parasites, and the cinnamon as well. Also, the red pepper flakes and the cinnamon help to keep mice and other rodents away from the feed so that they don't come and steal your feed during the night while the chickens are sleeping. So let me take you into the chicken run and I will give you an update on all of the girlies and our one little boy. Now we're going to be taking a little bit of a break to talk about today's video sponsor, which is Grub Terra. So Grub Terra focuses on creating a sustainable feed additive that positively impacts the environment and your flock of birds. These chicken treats are great for chickens. They're not alive and wild birds, but they contain a ton of great fats and proteins, and they just help to elevate the nutrition level of your eggs that you get from your chickens. Terra is a US-based company. They are located out of New Jersey, so they are a local small business, and when you purchase their fly larva, you are getting a really high quality product. I have a coupon code for you, which I will leave right here on the screen, and be sure to click the link in the description below. Chickens are not the cleanest creatures out there. There are ways that you can keep your chicken coop and chicken run clean. Right now, as I mentioned to you guys months and months and months and months ago in a vlog, we are going to be moving soon, so our next chicken run setup is going to be a whole lot nicer than this. This is just temporary for right now. So I have the camera behind a little fence, that temporary fence that we put up. I will show you guys in some b-roll, but I have this here because Lou, like I mentioned before, he likes to protect his flock. He doesn't attack my husband so much, but he does like to get beefy with me. I wouldn't classify him as a problematic rooster. He's just doing his job, but sometimes I just like to come in here and get my eggs in peace. So we have this little temporary fence up, plus we one time had Layla, I think I caught it on a vlog a couple vlogs back, or a day in the life video. Lou was attacking me in here. We had a good stretch of him not bothering me. I came in, but he started to bother me. Layla came in and she got the door open and she went after him. She didn't attack him, but she got him away from me, and then she came back out. But I don't want that to happen again, so we have a little latch on the door here that I can latch when I'm in here, and then this fence just in case she tries to get back in here, she can't actually get to the chickens. So let me show you who we have in our chicken coop right now, because we currently have a broody chicken. Now, a broody chicken is when they want to hatch their eggs, and I have to come out here several times to get Emmy Lou, which you guys might remember her from my first video when I showed you guys all my chickens. She was so tiny back then, but she is a big girl now. This is her. Now this is Emmy Lou's second time going broody. Now we don't want to actually hatch any chicks, so I come out here a few times a day and I take her off the eggs and I put her out in the run, and she goes and she gets water and she gets food and stuff, which sometimes some chickens will go so broody that they will not eat or drink and they will die. So it's important to keep an eye on your girlies when they go broody, and especially in the summer, because their body temperature rises so that they can incubate the eggs. So this is the second time Emmy Lou has gone broody. I'm not too worried about it this time. The first time she went broody was like a couple days before we were getting ready to go on vacation, so I had to put her separate from the flock in a dog crate like for 3 days solid to keep her from sitting down, and that's how you break her brood. So here she is. I hope you guys remember her from my first video here on my channel. I'm just gonna toss her into the run here, and I'll show you guys the inside of the coop. It is not pretty. Like I mentioned before, chicken coops are dirty. So this is what the chicken coop looks like. We have Miss Reba coming to say hello, but we have 3 nesting boxes here. I don't know why I have 3 nesting boxes when they all want to use this one nesting box. Hey, mister. See, he wants to do his job. This is the wall that we mount the coop heater on, and we close that window in the winter, and then up there is where we have the camera that I keep an eye on them. These are all wireless cameras. I will link them in the description below here on my YouTube channel, and they're about 40 bucks. They hold a charge amazingly. They run on Wi-Fi, and I can keep an eye out here on my little flock. Now for the bedding, I will show you guys some in what exactly we use in B-roll, but it is actually horse stall granules that absorb ammonia and odors. So we do the deep litter method, and we only come and scoop out the poop about once a month, because the type of bedding that we have in here absorbs everything so well that we can just let it compost on its own in here, and we don't have any bug or odor problems. But I do need to come in here and change out the nesting boxes. Now for the chicken feed, I found this container at Home Goods. These big dog food storage containers, they are expensive, but I found it for like 40 bucks at Home Goods. And this is the chicken feed that we feed everybody. So we get it from the Amish. It is called a layer mash, so it's all bunch of grains and good stuff all mashed up into little crumbles. And as you can see the red pepper flakes. You can't really see the oregano, but You can definitely taste the cinnamon when you open this stuff up. Now I'm not going to go into the run because I don't feel like dealing with Lou. He is in a mood today. But these are the 5-gallon buckets. We change these out every few days. But we fill them up, and you can get these little kits on Amazon for these little cups, and they can water themselves. Somebody is being very loud. But it dispenses the water automatically when they go up to it. Well, my friends, thank you so much for joining me for this week's video. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions about how my first year of chicken keeping went, please don't forget to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!